the third installment in Why So Many Guitars Acoustic Edition. This was my third acoustic that I ever got, and I went 30 years before getting my first. I got my first acoustic when I was 30, the Gibson Dove you saw in the first video. 7 more years later, I got a gig teaching clinics, and I needed a better. I needed a guitar I wanted to take out on the road, and I think that my Dove was still having problems with the pickup, so I didn't trust it, and I needed a good pickup. So I got the Loudon for that purpose. And then literally 2 weeks later, after I got the Loudon, I get a phone call from Taylor Guitars, who was the sponsor, or one of the sponsors, with for the clinics I was going to be teaching. And it was going to be at churches, it was going to be for Maranatha Music, and they were one of the sponsors, and they wanted to give everybody, all the guitar players and all the clinics, all the guitar player clinicians, a free Taylor. And I'm like, what? And I always hated those guys, because those guys that got the free guitars, they were always the guys that could afford to buy 10 of them if they wanted to. And so they said, no. I said, well, I don't know anything about Taylor guitars. I don't think I'd even played one at that point. I certainly didn't know their models, and I said, I really don't have an idea which one to choose. And they said, well, the other 3 guitar players all chose the same model. I said, really? What's that? And they said, oh, an 814 CE. And I said, I have no idea what that is. They said, well, we'll send you one, and if you don't like it, then send it back and we'll send you a different one. And I went, cool. So they said, I literally got this guitar 2 days later. So I go 30 years without having an acoustic. I get my first acoustic. Then 7 years later, I get 2 acoustics within a couple weeks of each other. And this one was the one that they sent me in 1997. This is a 97 814 CE, spruce top. Was it Indian rosewood back and sides, I think? I'm awful with that kind of stuff. This guitar, I've used it so much, it's got a lot of blood and sweat in here. Right now I've got extra light strings on it because I was just doing some showcases with this young pop artist, and I was going to be doing a lot of fingering. I was going to be going through pickups, and going through pickups, it really doesn't matter. The string gauge doesn't, I mean, it sounds a little bit better if you use heavier strings, but it's not enough in a pop context to really matter when you're playing at some showcase. So I put lighter strings on it so that I wouldn't kill myself, and I could have a little bit more endurance, as it were. But one of the things I like about this thing is it's a great strummer. It just really opens up. Like I said, on the intro, I was playing kind of this. In E, I just love the big E sound on this guitar. I've basically used it for years to lead worship with. So it fits the body. It's a little bit smaller than a Dreadnought. It's a little bit narrower than my Gibson Dove, and it's definitely smaller across this way. This is a Grand Auditorium design or shape, and I don't know. I think that's exclusive to Taylor. I think that's their design. I think that's Bob Taylor's design. But this is my third instrument, and it came with Grovers on it. I'm pretty sure those are the original tuners. And yeah, it's just a beautiful guitar. It's like I said, this thing's been all over. This guitar has been all over the world. I've taken this everywhere in the world, and it's pretty much it plays better today than it did 20 years ago when I got it. So there you go, a Taylor 814 CE, and the C stands for cutaway, and the E stands for electric, so if you were wondering. But that's what this is. God bless you guys. I'll talk to you soon.